Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 5 of my best tips for tomorrow's racing. Now before we get stuck into them, let's quickly recap on how our selections performed today. In the end, it was another frustrating day. It was a little bit of a case of seconditis today, as our nap and next best both finished seconds. The nap was with Hold in the 3:35 at Newmarket in the Rose Bowl Stakes there, finishing second place behind Ranch Hand. And in the end, I thought he tried his best, under Jason Watson. Maybe the only complaint I would have is maybe that he should have tried to get that rail. I saw one or two people say to me on Twitter that they think he should have tried to bag the rail down the straight because it might have helped him. I don't think you could say he would have won the race if he had grabbed the rail, but I definitely think Ranch Hand did have that slight advantage by having the rail to aid him home. But he is a horse that had been knocking on the door for some time to win a race of this nature. But with Hold, yeah, he ran a solid race, but just bumped into one on the day, because he did beat, to be fair, Mildenberger and Ghostwatch pretty well. But like I said, he just bumped into one today, and he's still an admirable horse. Away from that, the next best, Tricolor, again, he just bumped into a well-handicapped sort today. I really fancy Tricolor to go very close. I nearly, like I said last night, was going to put him up as my nap, but he finished in second. He was well beaten by the Hugo Palmer horse that looked like a good thing in a handicap tonight. Had that horse is a little bit funny actually, because he'd been tried in so many types of headgear, had a gelding operation, but there was a bit of money around for him today. And Hugo Palmer's stable have definitely turned the corner in the last couple of weeks. We had a couple of winners recently from Hugo Palmer's stable. So yeah, it was a little bit frustrating there, but yeah, he just bumped into a well-handicapped sort. And then the other selection that ran for us today, the Longshot, Mead Vale, there was market support for him. I think he went off at 9-2 in the end. We put him up at 13-2 each way last night. In the end, he just clearly didn't stay the trip, and in the end, the whole field pretty much were strung out with the wash-in, and he finished in 5th place. So yeah, no excuses. Had every chance to be good enough, but just wasn't, and just didn't stay the trip. And the other tip that we did put up, he was a non-runner. That was Saluti at Pontefract. He was a non-runner, which was declared earlier in the day. So if you did back him as a single bet, for an example, or put him in a multiple or something, your bet would have been voided, and you should have got at least your money back if you backed him as a single. So yeah, that was how the selections performed today. I know it's been disappointing the last few days. We haven't really had too much to write home about, but on the whole, September has been a good month for us. We're absolutely flying at the beginning of the month, and also as well in the middle. At this point, we've had 11 nap winners, so I'm not complaining. And if you're just one for backing my naps, you would have made a bit of profit there. And also as well, if you back some of my other tips, we are still up for the month. But yeah, it has been a little bit frustrating of late over the last few days after our good run, but that's the way it goes sometimes. You go through your good spells, and normally when you go through your good spells, the winners all come at once, and then when you go through your bad spells, the losers just keep on coming. It's kind of funny how this game works, but you just got to keep going at it. Don't try and change your methods. And that's exactly what I do. I don't really ever change my philosophy. I always keep applying the same strategies and methods, and in the end I seem to get the results over time, which has been shown by my profit and loss over the years with the punters page, and also as well here on my YouTube channel. Since I started keeping records again here on June the 1st, we are in profit every single month, so can't complain too much with that. And just hopefully it's just a little bit of a blip that we all go through sometimes, and we can be back amongst the winners tomorrow. So let's get stuck into those tips, and we're going to be starting tomorrow at Newmarket for the second day of the Cambridgeshire meeting, and there's probably going to be quite a bit of rain around when I was looking at the BBC weather app earlier for Newmarket tomorrow. So you're going to be wanting to go with some horses that will be able to handle a little bit of cut in the ground, and this horse certainly will, and that is Antonia De Vega for Harry Bentley and Rafe Beckett. Now this horse, I've always had a bit of a sweet spot for her. I've had a sweet spot with a few Rafe Beckett Waverley Racing fillies with the likes of Manuela De Vega as well, and Antonia De Vega has always shown quite a fair level of ability, and she always seems to go well fresh. And last season, I don't think we quite saw the best of her. She had a few excuses. I remember she was due to go over to Ireland, and then she got withdrawn because of the ground. They've never particularly wanted quick ground for her. They've always wanted to have a bit of juice in it, and that's why I was surprised actually they ran earlier in the year at Pontefract, where she did just scramble home, but like I said, I just don't think the ground suited her that day. And with the rain that is forecast tomorrow, I think that's definitely going to suit her. She's a horse that likes to go well fresh. She won fresh at Newbury in a listed race last season when she absolutely bolted up, and arguably, at least on the visuals, it was probably her best performance ever, looking at the way she went through the race that day. And Rafe Beckett was actually surprised by the win that day. But if you look at her record fresh, it always seems the best time to catch her. So the little absence since that Pontefract run wouldn't put me off. And she's going to be taking on some of the 3-year-old fillies here, like Franconia and a couple of the others, you know, and also as well to Mark Prescott's filly. But I don't think they particularly set a strong standard. Obviously, some of you will know my opinions about Love earlier on in the season, and yes, I've had to hold my hands up now that I got it wrong with Love. Obviously, she seems to be a cut above the rest, but I think the fillies in behind, you know, they're not really been a great bunch this year, apart from Love. A lot of the 3-year-old fillies, a lot of the form hasn't been working out that well in behind, you know, and they've all been taking on each other, and some have been beating some, and then the next week they run in a Group 3 or listed, and then the horses that were beaten, they're beating the other horses. You know, it's all a bit of a mishmash really, the form in behind, and it's really difficult to get a handle on it. And that's why I think Antonia De Vega, despite being 4 years old, she does set a fairly useful standard, and we know that she will go well fresh. And also as well, there's a couple of question marks over the others about the ground. So I think 5-1 tomorrow is quite a big price. That's the time currently available. I'm just recording this video after 6:30, and I just think Antonia De Vega tomorrow got a good chance on her return, and I think she'll be there or thereabouts, especially as well if the rain does fall. She's just going to be an extra tip, but I'm quite keen on her chances tomorrow. We then go to Listowel for the Grade B handicap hurdle for the 3:15, the feature race of the day there. And I thought Moon over Germany could be a big price here. It's going to be my long shot tomorrow. You can currently back him at 14-1 with 5 places each way for Rachel Blackmore and Henry de Bromhead, who both are in good form at the moment. Now this horse is known more as the chaser. You know, he won a Grade 3 handicap at the Grand National meeting at Aintree last year, but he's definitely got ability over hurdles, and I do think his mark of 137 is fair. He was last seen finishing in 4th place at Kalani over hurdles, and the form of that race actually hasn't worked out too badly, because Poseidon, who won that race, has gone in to win on the flat since then at Limerick, and the 3rd place horse was a horse of Tony Martin's called the Mouse Doctor, who's been a progressive horse through the handicaps of late. So the form wasn't bad, and Moon over Germany tomorrow, despite being a little bit keen and racing from the front that day, he's going to be having cheek pieces applied tomorrow, which I just think might help him settle a little bit better. But I do want him to be towards the front tomorrow. A lot of the horses, if you've been watching the racing, especially at Listowel, have been the ones that have been doing the best have been up with the pace, you know. So I want him to be up with the pace tomorrow. We had a couple of hard luck stories yesterday where we had horses out the back and were badly hampered. So I would like a positive ride by Rachel Blackmore on Moon over Germany, and I think that's normally where we see her to her best, when she's up there in a prominent position. And this horse, like I said, I think from some of his chase form, a mark of 137 is fair, and with the 14-1 on offer, 5 places, I think that's a big price in this field. I don't think it's a particularly strong race. There's nothing really outstanding that's taken my eye thinking, boy, that's unexposed and that's got plenty in hand. But I just think Moon over Germany tomorrow, if he runs to his rating, he'll be there or thereabouts come the line. And at the prices, I think he's a dangerous player, not to be underestimated. So for me, like I said, I think at 14-1, 5 places each way, you can currently get that price with William Hill. I think that's a fair each way bet, and I would be disappointed if he wasn't in the first 5. So that's going to be the tip there. We then go to the 4-10 with my next best at Newmarket, and I thought Volcanic Sky here was actually a really big price at 9-1, and I'm just going to recommend the win-only bet for Oisin Murphy and Ty Binsura. I did think maybe about backing him each way, but you've only got 2 places, but I think he'll either win or he'll be at the back of the telly. It's one of those kind of bets, but I'm quite sweet on his chances tomorrow. Now, if you look at this race as a whole, Loxley is the one on the form book anyway that they've all got to beat for Charlie Appleby in the Godolphin colours, but to be fair, I think he's going to need the run tomorrow. Loxley, last season, he badly needed the run, and we haven't seen him for a while, so that is a little bit of a concern. Whereas Volcanic Sky has been the complete opposite, and he reminds me of the horse that won this race last year for Saeed Bin Surah, a progressive handicapper stepping up into listed company, and he deserves to take his chance. I think it was Mountain Hunter was the horse that won for Saeed last year, and I think O'Sheen was aboard that day, and he does really well actually. Goes underneath the radar when he rides for Saeed Bin Surah, I feel sometimes, and sometimes he wins at big prices. And this Volcanic Sky, like I said, he has been progressive. Now, he finished third in the Mallard Handicap at the Doncaster St Leger Festival the other week, but I think that was a fairly decent race. You had Apparate, who won the Lavazza Stakes at Ascot last year, which is always a decent 3-year-old middle distance handicap, and also as well the horse that finished in second had previously won a race at York and ran a particularly strange race. But Volcanic Sky, you know, he tried his heart out and he fought to try and win that race, but in the end he just bumped into two improving types. But I just think tomorrow in a race of this nature he's got a good chance. Now if there is a bit of rain, he should be able to handle it. He's gone okay with a bit of cut in the ground in the past, so that shouldn't be an issue there. But he's currently 9-1 tomorrow, and I thought this was a really big prize. I think he should be definitely at least half the price that he currently is. And I'm quite sweet on his chances tomorrow. And if O'Sheen can get a good prominent position, we know he can stay a little bit further as well. This is over a mile and a half tomorrow. If he can get him in a prominent position, use that stamina, we know he can do well over a mile and 6 and 2 miles. And I think he's a dangerous player in this race tomorrow and shouldn't be underestimated. And like I said, I think it's not a particularly strong race. I'm not particularly keen on some Michael Stout horse, even though he has got some good handicap form to his name. But I think Volcanic Sky here is the one you want to be on, and the rest have got plenty of question marks to answer. And I think in 2020 Volcanic Sky sets a standard in my opinion, and he's the one really that they've got to beat. So yeah, I'm really sweet on his chances tomorrow, and some of you might think I'm mad, but yeah, I think Volcanic Sky will be there or thereabouts come the end. We then go to the Nap in the 4:35 at Haydock with a horse called Midnight's Legacy for Martin Harley and Alan King. Now you can currently back him at 6-1. And I'm going to recommend an each way selection here. Now, I'm really sweet on his chances tomorrow, and I'll be really disappointed actually if he wasn't there or thereabouts come the end of this race, and that's why I'm putting him up each way. I can't see him finishing outside of the frame. Now, you do have to forgive his Melrose run last time out at York at the Ebor Festival, but that was a really strange race the way it was run, and actually the form has worked out quite well because the horses that finished down the field, Bodyline, and also as well Favourite Moon, who was well punted for that race, have subsequently gone on to win. So I think you can forgive the majority of horses that ran in that race. And if you go back to some of his earlier form this season, Midnight's Legacy, he's done really well. He's won twice at the course at Haydock, beaten Indigo Lake and also as well Crystal Pegasus. So a lot of good form to his name that's worked out, and I think going up and trip tomorrow it won't be an issue. He's by Midnight's Legacy, and if there is a little bit of rain around, that won't do him no harm as well. He beat some good horses last season as a 2-year-old, and that's actually when he went into my notebook last season. I actually didn't remember seeing him at Bath running on really strongly when he finished 4th at 33-1. I actually backed him that day, and I thought I'd have to back him next time, and then he went and won next time out of Bath, beating the likes of Staghorn, who's now rated in the 90s, you know. So he's beaten some promising types as a juvenile, and then he's definitely translated it as a 3-year-old. Alan King's horses have been running okay as well. So yeah, plenty of things to recommend him tomorrow, and I think he's such a solid candidate, and he's a big price. And I think he should be actually vying for favouritism in this race. I think 6-1 is a ridiculous price. That was currently available with Bet365 at the time of recording. And if you can still get a price like that, definitely back him each way. But if he was, say, 3-1 and you're watching this, I'll just back him for the win. But if you can get him at 6-1, yeah, definitely is an each way bet that has to be had there. So that's going to be my tip in the 4:35 at Haydock and my Nap. We then go to the 8:30 at Newcastle with a final tip, an extra tip, Lucky Lodge for Harry Russell, claiming 7, riding for Anthony Britton. Currently back this horse at 7-1 with 4 places. That price was available with Betfair and the places on offer. Now this horse, he's a bit of an old boy now. He's had 120 odd career starts, but he's been a great servant for Connections and owes him nothing. But I just thought he ran a really encouraging race last time, showing that his time could be coming for a win. He finished second at Wolverhampton, and I watched him last week, and I actually backed the winner in that race, but I thought he was actually going to come and just do him on the line. Can't remember the name of the horse that won it now, but Lucky Lodge, going back to Newcastle, shouldn't be a problem. He's won over the course before 4 times during his career, so he knows the drill, you know. Going also as well, how the race might develop will probably suit him. He's effective over 6 and 7 furlongs, and I expect him to get in a good position, and we know if he gets to the front early, he's going to have the stamina to last home. And Harry Russell as well is definitely going to help by taking that £7 off. Also as well, he's not badly treated, off a mark of 68 on the all-weather. If you go back through some of his form in the last 12 months or so, he was actually winning at the track off a mark of 71, so he's £3 below that victory, and I just think there's a lot to recommend him tomorrow. And basically with Harry Russell's £7 claim, he's running off a mark of 61, so he's going to be well in here, I think, tomorrow, and well treated at the weights. And at 7-1 with the 4 places on offer, I mean, again, he's a great each way bet there, and he's going to be my final tip of the day. So yeah, it's been a frustrating time the last few days, but hopefully we can get some profits back on the board with those 5 tips tomorrow. Quickly just run through them. My extra tip in the 225 at Newmarket is Antonia De Vega, 5-1 win only bet. The Longshot runs in the 315 at Listowel with Moon over Germany at 14-1. Each way with 5 places. That was with William Hill. In the 410 at Newmarket, Volcanic Sky, 9-1, win only bet. In the 435 at Haydock, Midnight's Legacy at 6-1, each way is the nap. And in the 430 at Newcastle, the last race on the card, there we go, Lucky Lodge, 7-1, each way with 4 places with Betfair. So yeah, they're the 5 tips for tomorrow's racing. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe here for more videos on my YouTube channel. Also as well, if you're liking these videos, remember to give us a thumbs up. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And if you want to know a little bit more about myself, check out my website. There's a link to it in the description box below, which is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So that's all I got to say. Please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.